Welcome to Burn the Ship, the podcast that helps entrepreneurs go all in on their business, and we connect them with professionals that can help them do so. Today we have a special guest, Miss Nicole Quathamer with Quathamer Law. How you doing today?
I'm doing fabulous. How are you, Roderick?
I'm doing good. Thanks for coming up to join us today. We're so happy to have you here.
Well, thanks for having me. This is very exciting and fabulous little studio here. I love it.
Nice. Well, when we come on this podcast, we try to let people know there's skills that others have acquired over time, and we want to just learn more about you and then later on share some of those skills. So tell us, how did you get to where you are now in business?
Well, so I am originally from Ohio, so I am a Buckeye fan all the way. I lived in Ohio for first 4 decades of my life.
Okay.
Went to from northeastern Ohio, smack dab in between Pittsburgh and Cleveland.
Nice.
And stayed there all my life. Went to undergrad at Ohio State, the Ohio State University,
the Ohio State,
to be appropriate, and law school in Cleveland.
Okay.
And then I started off with a large law firm. It's a Columbus-based law firm, but we had 7 offices, and our office was in Cleveland. And so that was my first job out of law school, and I loved it, and I stayed there for 12 years, became partner in the firm.
Okay.
And then my practice at that time was focused on litigation, civil litigation.
Okay.
So I wasn't doing any criminal, I wasn't prosecuting, doing any of that stuff, but civil litigation, a lot of employment defense litigation. And so representing companies in lawsuits brought by employees. And so I got sick of sludge and snow and cold. Right when I was thinking I wanted to shift my practice to a different direction, my husband had a job offer here in Georgia. So we took the big plunge and came down south. And I love Ohio, and I'm an Ohio girl, but I definitely am a Georgia girl, too. I can throw y'all around now,
yes.
Which I insisted I would not do, and I would
Yes.
correct my kids the first couple of years here.
Right.
Like, we don't say y'all. That's not what we do in Ohio.
Yes.
But now I like it,
Nice,
and I've embraced the Peach State. So
Excellent.
yes.
Excellent. So we're glad that you made that decision to come on down. When you came down, what were your plans? What did you think you were going to do when you said, I'm going to come down?
So initially, my plan. So I have 3 kids at the time. My 2 boys were entering kindergarten and 4th grade.
Okay.
And I'd never stayed home with them, had time with them. So I was going to take a year off and transition into another area of law. Wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do, but was giving myself that year of kind of getting settled here, getting them settled, and then shifting. Well, in the meantime, we ended up having our bonus baby, our little girl. And so that threw me off, having a baby in my 40s. I was not anticipating that.
Okay.
But thank God she came.
Yes.
But so then after she was a couple of years old, then I decided, okay, it's time. I need to go back. And so I really searched. I love the law. I'm a nerd like that. I could see myself probably practicing in any area of the law except mergers, acquisitions, extreme tax law.
Mergers. Okay.
Not my interest.
I got you.
I like people too much for that.
Yes, a lot of numbers in those.
No, so there's less counseling, face-to-face counseling like this that involves. So I really explored, and a mentor that I had from my law firm kept telling me, you really should think about estate planning. I was like, no, I'm a litigator. I have to be in court. I have to do something involving being in court. And I rejected that for about 6-9 months. She kept saying it. And then I had an epiphany when I was talking to another estate planner, actually, and realized this is perfect for me.
Okay.
I get to protect and defend like I did in litigation, but in a way that fits more with what I wanted my direction of my life to be and what kind of practice I wanted. And so when I decided that this was the absolute path that I needed to take, I had the option of going with an established estate planning firm or to, burn the ship and go out on my own. And I did, which I insisted I would never do.
Okay. Did you have to get different certifications or go back to school for what you do?
No, I didn't have to. I mean, we learn estates, trusts, everything related to estate planning in law school and bar exam. But I did. I joined a national estate planning network, and as part of that, I probably did hundreds of hours of continuing education to dive deep into it. That's always, if I'm going to start something, I'm going to dive deep, and I'm going to know what I'm doing. And so I did that, and before I started practicing, so about 6 months that I learned, which I love doing, again, nerd in me, but so I did that, and then I threw my shingle on and became Quathamer Law.
Well, cool. So tell us some of the things that you do at Quathamer. What are you focusing on with your estate planning?
So my practice is only estate planning, exclusively estate planning, and what that means is I help families, individuals, living, dead, somewhere in between, with a will, a trust, power of attorney, advance directive, all those things that protect us during our life and protect our family during our life or during periods of incapacity. And then obviously at death as well, protecting. So we make sure that we have our kids protected if they're young, if they're young like my youngest, or if they are in their 20s, we protect them from themselves and from other people through estate planning.
Okay.
So every family, every individual I work with is different. There's not a cookie cutter. You can, and there's that out there. There's kind of puppy mill estate planning, but that's not my approach. My approach is a very individualized, personalized approach to make sure that I get to know the client, know what they need, and then make a plan that suits them. So I none of my plans that I've drafted over the 3 years I've been working are the same.
All of them are different.
There's provisions, obviously, that are the same.
Similar,
Georgia law applying, or some things. But every family is different, as you know, and every person's different, and every person's desires. I have some clients that say, I don't want my kids to have a dime until they have done X, Y, and Z. Others say, if something happens to me, my kids get everything, and I'll roll the dice and hope, hope it lands.
Do a good job.
Exactly.
With the funds. Yes.
So everybody's different, and some clients have a very clear idea on, who are the people who can help them during their life and after and death. Other people don't, and we counsel, we go back and forth, and I point out other people what they have done and why, and try to give them that experience so they're comfortable with their decisions. Because especially guardian, noting a guardian for your kids is probably one of the worst things to think about, because that means that you're not here.
That's
and
right.
None of us as parents want that. So
that is true.
That's a heart-wrenching and gutsy decision that you have to make. And I've had clients say, I haven't done an estate plan because I never wanted to make that decision. I didn't want to have to do that. So I just, kind of rolled the dice and didn't draft a will or trust, which is not not a good reason.
It's not the good
I always
reason,
tell clients, I'm like, it's hard, but we'll get you there. And it's, the least evil guardian is what I always kind of joke and I always try to lighten up, these topics, because it is a hard topic.
Yeah. Doing what you do, it is one of those things that we don't like to talk about, which is the end, the finality of everything. So I can see how people just either don't do it or wait too late. Because a lot of people don't do it, can you share with us a story that you've seen either in your own practice or in that field where it was a good thing that they did it, got everything together. Do you have one of those stories to share so people can have a clear picture of why they should do what you're offering?
Absolutely, and I'll start with some situations where people don't plan. Recently, I had a call because I do probate. Also, people, when you have to file the will in probate to start dividing up the assets and such, and. A person called, and she had recently lost her husband, young, my age, so I say young, but, in their 50s, and they didn't have a will, and he died suddenly, healthy, didn't have a will, and now, instead of it being a fairly easy process where we file a will and she's named executor and she can transfer assets, now it's going to take a very long time when she's already grieving and there's a child that he has been estranged from, and that child now is going to be part of the probate, which if he had drafted a will, it would have never been that way. And the most awful example of that people may relate to, James Dean, Rebel Without a Cause. He died way too young, and he died without a will. So because of that, the father, who had abandoned him as a child, was the one who inherited everything that he worked for. There is no way on God's green earth that he would have wanted that to happen, but because he didn't do anything, he probably thought, I'm in my 20s, I'm in my early 30s, I don't, why do I have to, why do I need a will? So whether you are, James Dean level assets back in the day, or, just a normal 20-something working and, putting money into a 401k, having a will can protect you and your family, and make sure, my biggest thing I always tell clients is, you get to control it. I like control. I like parameters. That's probably why I love the law. But you get to control it, where if you don't, somebody else decides. Somebody else decides guardian. Somebody else decides who takes care of you if you have a stroke and, are incapacitated. Somebody else decides how your money's spent, who gets it, how. I'm too much of a control freak. I don't like that. So I always encourage people,
take those variables
take
out.
Control, do it yourself. It's hard. But the process doesn't have to be, as impactful and awful as people think.
As it can be. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, because we always like our guests to let people know what it is that they are doing in their current career. And one of those things that we do here at Burn the Ship is try to talk about the different skills that you have acquired over time that you can share with the entrepreneurs that are watching the podcast. You wanted to talk a little bit about mentoring. So tell us a little bit why it's important to have mentorship in your life and how it impacted you in your practice.
Sure. So early on, I was very fortunate. My law firm pairs us with a mentor. So I had that formal mentoring relationship, which is fabulous, but also I gravitated towards my mentor that I spoke of a couple of minutes ago, and she became my informal mentor, and she was a sounding board for personal, professional issues, direction, where I was making mistakes, where I was succeeding, and would honestly, share her experience and guide me so that I could develop into the attorney I became. And then also, as part of that, I was lucky to work in Cleveland, and we had a very robust bar association. And as part of our bar association, we had mentoring. And so, again, a formal mentoring where they paired us. So once I became senior associate partner level, then I had mentors. I always had those formal mentors or mentees within my firm, but then also someone outside my firm, and was able to share my experience with a law student, aspiring attorney, and I got as much from my mentor as I did my mentees
Yes.
over the years
Yes,
in terms
yes.
of thoughts and development as a person, as an attorney. And so I think it's so important. Even if you're in a kind of a silo like me, I'm a sole practitioner. I'm the only attorney in Quathamer Law. But even there's ways to informally mentor as well as enter into
Yes.
formal mentoring, and it truly does expand you as a person, and that can only improve your business.
Right,
The
right.
better you are, the better you're going to do.
Yeah, that's excellent skill to share, because a lot of times we get out here and we try to do it all by ourselves.
Absolutely.
And there are experiences that others have had that they can simply just share with us to help us avoid something,
Yes.
or to dive towards something. So I can see how mentorship is a great thing. Now, currently, I know you're not at the big firm now, and you're not with that mentor. Do you still talk with her now, or
Yes,
have you found
frequently.
another? Okay.
No,
Okay.
and I still do. She's retired, and but I do still speak with her. And in fact, I had an issue a couple of weeks ago that I ran by her.
Okay.
So certainly, but also I was very fortunate too. I found another Ohio native, an estate planner in the area who we connected because of our Youngstown, Ohio roots, and she's been invaluable to me
Okay.
in terms of developing. She's a number of years ahead of me in her practice, but as a small business owner, just general information there, as well as in the estate planning world. And it's fabulous having that collaboration also, because I'm not a thought bank. I don't know everything, and I don't pretend to. So having somebody that I can roll ideas off of when I'm drafting a plan or a particularly troublesome situation with the client, she's there.
Yes,
And I do the same for her. Initially, as a mentee, you always feel like you're the one, taking. And so it's nice when she can call me now, and, I can get back to her
Yeah.
and help her on situations that I've had.
I can see that same thing, here, at the MP Group. I'm sales director, and I am supposed to lead the troops of where they're supposed to go. But every time we have someone new come in, it's an experience for me too, because I am learning from their experiences. So for those of you that are out there, when you are trying to help others and help pull them up, like you mentioned, you're not just helping them pull up, you are learning more yourself. So I can definitely see the importance. So you guys that are out there that are listening today, we have a successful attorney right here in the office, and she's sharing with you, although she's had all these successes, she still has a mentor. So you guys make sure to keep that in mind. Anything else you would like to share about mentorship?
No, I don't
really?
think so.
Not really? Well, cool. Well, part of what we always try to do here at Burn the Ship is talk about, the business aspect of things, some of the skills that you've learned, but we also like to show that it is a good work-life balance. So let's just say Quathamer Law has gotten everyone's estate taken care of. What is it that Nicole would do with her time if she didn't have to take care of bonus babies and and also do more estate plans? What would you do?
So I would, if I had any talent, I would, try to go on tour with Eminem and and rap and be my best self. But that's not happening. So I absolutely love to travel, love to experience new things. So I think I would. Eat and enjoy all the drinks all across Italy for the next, however many decades I'm here.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna ask where is that place? But you said it was Italy. I was gonna ask, have you been overseas before, or is this somewhere you want to go? Is that on the target?
Yes, no. So we went 2019. was our 20-year wedding anniversary. So
Okay,
we went to
congratulations.
Italy for, thank you. We went for 2 weeks. I wish 2
I'd say,
years.
whoa.
No, I could have left the kids that long. The mothers and mother-in-law would not have liked that
Yes,
either.
yes. They would've been mad,
But
man.
no, so we went all over Italy for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Just my husband and I, and it was
Okay.
amazing. And I would go
Nice.
back, and thankfully we went in September of 2019.
Okay.
Because,
Okay.
we all
Before the
know
pandemic, yeah.
September of 2021
Yeah,
worked
it
out
was,
so
it was
well.
a little different.
Exactly.
Over there, what was that meal that you had that you just loved? What was it? Can you remember?
Oh,
Was it
gosh.
a pasta or chicken? Everything?
Day, but one of the most unique, when we were in Florence, we went to a Tuscan wine tour.
Okay.
And they make boar, and they put it in like a bolognese sauce or different ways, and it was incredible.
Nice.
Incredible.
Nice. That's,
And sardines. I never
Oh,
would have thought I
really?
would love sardines, but they make them amazing there
now,
somehow.
we have a can.
Or anchovies, yeah,
We
anchovies.
have a can of sardines
Yeah,
up there
no.
in the cabinet,
Nope.
and it's a running bet. If you can eat it, all of it, we'll give you $10. So if you want me to go get it, we
I'm
can.
going to hold off on that. Only if we have this Chef Peter. If
Yes,
anybody
yes,
is
yes.
in Positano, go see Chef Peter. He's amazing. But he cooks in his little kitchen, and he, I think, could probably take that can of sardines and
make
do
something
something
to
with
it?
it.
All right.
But unless he's cooking it, I'm not eating
I was
it.
about to say, because we just pop it open and it's a challenge. If you
No,
can eat it,
thank
which I have
you.
one, I suffered through. I didn't even use the crackers or the hot sauce. I just went in and it was gross. But it was okay because I knew I was going to get that $10.
Absolutely. Will work for $10.
Yes, absolutely. Now, we definitely appreciate you sharing about your business, about the skills of having a mentor and, just your life in general and some of those things that you want to get done along with, having a successful business. How can the people get in contact with you to learn more about the estate planning services that you offer?
Sure. So they can reach out to me. My contact information is on our website, www.quathamerlaw.com. And you can book a complimentary consultation with me. We can talk, figure out the best direction to guide you, to protect you and your family. And you can also learn some information on there. And I have blogs that are attached there to my website. So there's information and some blogs, short couple-minute reading, so you don't have to learn every area of estate planning, just, just what you are interested in.
Get your whistle wet a little bit. We definitely appreciate that. Now, when I am conducting Burn the Ship podcast, I really do appreciate my guests coming on, and I give them the last word. So, the floor is yours. What's the last word for the people?
Sure. I wish I had some amazing words of wisdom, but my professional goal is just to protect people. So whether working with me, whether working with somebody else, I just encourage everybody to get a plan in place because my tagline is we can't predict tomorrow, but we can plan for it today, which is 100% because, you leave the house every day and, we hope we come home in the same shape, but you just don't know. And if you have anything you want to protect, do it because, tomorrow's is not promised.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming on today, Nicole. We truly do appreciate it and much success to you in the future. And if we can help in any way, please let us know. Everyone, we have Nicole Quathamer with Quathamer Law. Thanks.
Thanks, Roderick.
Yeah.